It's Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Alaja, Nima, Akashat, Zabiri in the building. How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm very
How was
fine.
your weekend?
Restful. And my son's friends for the first time came because people don't know I'm scared of a lot of kids. If I have too many kids in the house at once, my kids have been cultured to know how to behave around me.
Yes, okay.
But when I have neighbors' kids who want to jump here, scatter here, I get confused. But I took a leap of faith and hosted his friends this week, Saturday.
Nice.
And we stayed for 6 hours and it was okay.
No.
and you survived.
And I made it.
Once there's lots of food in the house, lots of drinks.
They wasted all the food. The children, picky eaters.
When I have kids like that, I buy lots of candy, biscuits, change everything, and they're fine. Once you put TV on, and
But you know I won't buy them.
they play.
I gave them cake.
We don't do that.
I gave them food.
Yeah, proper food.
I continued to make food and they continued to waste it. Then they went to your house.
They're not
and
interested.
Even my son requested the Jebu Gari with
don't want
sugar.
that.
Immediately they got to their regular place.
The snacks they want. There's some cake in the house, just stuff to play around.
My own is that I need to make sure that you've not put your head somewhere, you haven't broken something. So I'm constantly up and down.
We had about 6 bicycles at once. In the
Wow.
It wasn't enough.
When it comes to you, Tokwe, how was your weekend?
My weekend, I was doing what I love doing. I was learning. So on Saturday, I was meant to moderate one panel at the Smart Steward Summit. But after I finished, before my panel, there were 2 speakers, Chioma Accounting Hub, Mr. Gabriel Ogbeche. I just knew that I was in the right place. I was supposed to finish that panel and then bring my kids to Akada Festival. I was there till 5 p.m. I could not leave. It was just so amazing. Like I always tell people, please, knowledge is too important. No matter what you think you know, just attend. When you see free conferences, free trainings, attend because you're gathering more. I started executing on some things already, but I'm really grateful. Thank you to Shola Adeshaki for putting together the Smart Steward Summit and bringing those caliber of people to speak and teach for free. I enjoyed it. I really did. And then my natural hair is outside because some people ask if it is a wig. All through this month, I've been rocking my natural hair. So let me do an announcement because next month, I'm wearing wig.
Heidi, Mariam.
I'm fine. So I was at the Akada Festival. I was there last year, so it's not really about me. I was just so happy to see young child authors. And we know that BC's daughter was there as well. There's this young boy, Fee, whose mom is just so, she's like his manager, and I was speaking to her about how she does it. Like, he's doing movies, he's writing a book, he's at events. She says that's like her job, and she's talking about how she now had to change his school to a school that has more flexibility for the times that he's not on. So mothers are just doing so much. This momager thing is coming to Nigeria. Mothers are taking up the role of managing their children's careers from very young. So just well done to the mothers or parents, encouraging their children to follow their dreams from really young. Well done.
That's fantastic. It's good to know.
How was your weekend?
Well,
Where were you? What did you do?
so I think it was Friday. The Shola Adeshaki also invited me for an event on Friday, which I attended. It was really nice. I saw Mrs. Felix, Pastor Felix at Dej, she was so excited. Me, I was excited to see her, but she was even more excited to see me. She almost carried me. I was like, you see somebody that you love. Yeah. Now that I actually now carried you. She was really excited. I was so happy to meet her. It was such a privilege to be in the same room with her. I was grateful. And I just saw a lot of people, women doing great things. And, just see that women are actually helping each other. There's a community of women financially growing and helping each other. So I was taking in all the information and all the energy. And I think, it's good. It's good to see success.
Were you there till the end?
No, I wasn't. I left not too long after you left.
Okay.
I just stayed a bit more. But, it was a good outing. All right, let me go on a quick break now. When we return, we'll look at the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Federal government steps up action against rising insecurity. 544.2 billion naira COVID-19 loan debtors put under watch. Don't tamper with nation's power assets during strike, minister warns. What Cardoso should do as CBN boss by financial experts. Owners of revoked 189 Abuja plots get 3 months relief. And Give Nigeria new constitution, Afe Babala urges AGF. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Let me start with the major headline because, of course, we know that insecurity has been happening, but Nation just took an inventory and all regions spoke in this particular article where the Arewa Consultative Forum is speaking, the Ohaneze Ndigbo is also speaking, and, you know, in the Southwest as well. So the military, security operatives, let me not say military because I'm not so certain, that were attacked in Imo State, you know, is also in the story. And Ohaneze Ndigbo is asking the federal government to beef up security in the Southeast. The Zamfara University attack, where staff, contractors, students were kidnapped, because what we heard originally was that only students were kidnapped from the hostel, but it was a group, different sectors that were affected. So the contractors working in the hostel around, staff staying with the students in the hostel, and students were kidnapped. They don't have a specific number in the nation. In the news we heard there were 30, 10 were rescued, but in the nation they said unspecified number and 7 were released, as opposed to the 10 originally released. So Arewa Consultative Forum is also asking the federal government to do something about security in the north. Now, the president has directed security operatives to immediately go after the criminals. Yeah. This was, of course, through the spokesperson of the president, Ajuri Ngelale again. And I want to just believe that, aside this narrative of the, you know, president speaking and giving instructions, we'll see results. Because what this will do in the north, of course, is to create apathy. People will start to say schools and all of that. You know what we suffered from the Chibok experience?
The video?
Yes.
He went into the hostels.
I saw the
took out the windows. And,
yes.
Scary. It must have been scary.
Very scary. And we still have the kidnapped NYSC members who have not been rescued. Zamfara also. Yes. So we need to really...
The governor.
Yes, he should sit up and...
Some governors have been able to reduce statistically the incidence of insecurity within their state. So if a state is struggling, it means that the governor hasn't been able to figure out who are the people funding it, what is spiking the crisis. I know in Niger State they were able to reduce illegal mining, and from doing that, it solved the problem. I know.
He's given an ultimatum.
He's also a new governor.
Another story?
Yes.
Yes.
So we have, you remember I took last week that some properties, lands have been revoked. 21 plots of land in Abuja, the central business district, have been revoked by the federal government. But now we're hearing that the federal government is going to grant these title holders some 3 months grace so that they can go ahead and start doing something on the land for those who already have their building permits. So the permanent secretary of the FCT, Olushade Adishola, said that the lands were revoked for continued contravention of the terms of development of the rights of occupancy to wit non-development. And then they gave a whole list of companies. We already talked about the people, the very top, Nigerians who have lands that were revoked. But here they listed out companies that were affected by it, even embassies as well. And they're giving them 3 months to take care, to start something, either start building, right, just show that, work is being done on that land. And after 3 months, I guess if you have not started, then it will be taken away from you. But there's so many. I'm looking at embassies like the Canadian embassy, Trinidad and Tobago, Cote d'Ivoire. And then I'm remembering stories of us in Ghana and how we were, in our own opinion, mistreated because we did not pay rent. And we have left people to just buy land from and just go away scot-free. So finally, we're doing what we're meant to do.
All right, so the Minister of Power, Mr. Adebayo Adelabu, was actually on an inspection tour of facilities at the control center ahead of his upgrade with modern technology. And he said that, he told the workers actually that the ministry is not against the industrial strike. If you recall, they had actually planned a 2-day industrial strike. He's saying that no matter what the circumstances are, nothing must push us to deliberately destroy our assets. I'm not against industrial actions. It's part of labor relations, but you must not destroy our property in Nigeria to cause Nigerians to be in blackout. Specifically, he was also saying that, that he got information that the electricity workers attacked the control center in Osogbo, Osun State capital, with the intention to plunge the country into a blackout. He said that he would not allow that to happen, so he has spoken to the National Security advisor Nuhu Ribadu to strengthen security around all our nationwide assets. We cannot, yes, you can strike, but you shouldn't take illegal actions of destroying our national assets and plunging the entire country into blackout. It's totally wrong and unacceptable.
So I'm taking the story of the 544.2 billion COVID-19 loan debtors are now being placed under watch. So the targeted credit facility, which was done during COVID-19, was to the tune of 544.2 billion. And this fund was disbursed to a lot of Nigerians. When I say a lot, I mean out of the 544 billion, 261 was disbursed to 643 households. They also had 112.5 billion to 114 small and medium scale enterprises and 14.3 billion to 31,462 individuals through the non-interest banks, that's such as the Nigerian Microfinance Bank and other banks. However, many of the debts have not been paid, and because of that, we know that the current administration is big on funds recovery. So the CBN has now created they've uploaded all the names of defaulters into the global standing instruction, which is risky because this means that every one of those that have collected the debt cannot access any form of credit anywhere around the world.
Yeah.
Also, the CBN uploaded it into the credit risk management system. Their BVN, their company name, personal BVNs were all uploaded. So a lot of the defaulters are already complaining that they should remove their names if they are funding. So if money is already coming in immediately that happened, and they're asking for their names removed from that particular list. The Nigerian Microfinance Bank is saying that people have taken it for granted that because they are a government agency, you can collect money from them and just go with that money. It's not a grant, it's a loan, and the government is expecting these funds back.
Okay, let's move on to The Punch. CBN defaults on payments to banks. Dollar nears 1,000 naira. Outrage as bandits hold 21 Zamfara varsity female students. 40 million Nigerian children from poor families, says World Bank. NDLEA intercepts 4,000 kilograms of illicit drugs, arrests 12 suspects. Pay 2022 withheld salaries, ASU tells federal government. And Ogun APC, PDP trade wars over Shagamu cult killing. What's your headline?
No, I have the ASU story. So ASU is asking the federal government that they withheld 2022 salaries that, the former administration withheld when they went on strike should be paid. And they are hoping that because government is a continuum, this will be done. They are saying, although, what's the other faction that was on the show? Koan.
Yeah.
Yes,
The Congress of University Academics, led by Inish Sumono, they have met with the Minister for State for Education, Tanko Sununu, and they're saying that though that body is not speaking for them, they have not met with any official from this administration. Nobody has spoken to them. They're asking that this money is paid. I'm hoping that before the thing we thought to strike basis, that somebody will meet them, negotiate, or find a way, or a way to convince them. Whatever they need to do, they should do it immediately.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. You had a story,
Yes,
Mariam?
I do. So NDLEA has intercepted 4 tons of illicit and controlled drugs in 7 states within a week. The spokesman is telling us this. They said the drugs include nitrous oxide, that's the laughing gas. That was something we were discussing quite recently. There's become, widespread. There was skunk, codeine syrup, methamphetamine, and tramadol. Of course, as you know, they will give us like a breakdown of how these arrests were made. So it just cuts across, various states in Nigeria. They explained that 1,194 cylinders of laughing gas with a total weight of over 2 kilograms were 2,000 kilograms were intercepted in a Toyota Sienna along Okene, Lokoja, Abuja Expressway. Then there was Onyebuchi Ipozo and Kenneth Igwe conveying this consignment to Abuja for distribution. Then there was another 99 cartons containing 594 cylinders, you know, weighing over 1,000 kilograms in a bus that was loaded, you know, and they're just different parts, yes, different parts of the country. Women are involved, men are involved, old and young, Sokoto State, Abuja, everywhere, just around the country. It just shows, well, thankfully, NDLA is doing a good job, we hope, but I feel that this thing may be so widespread that just NDLA may not be
enough. We need community engagement.
Yes.
So, I mean, I saw the pictures. It was horrific. See the kilograms that we're displaying. Let's move on quickly now to daily. So you have a story?
Yes, I want to take the trading of words. A particular PDP lawmaker, Damilare Bello, alias Dre, was arrested in connection to the recent cult violence in Shagamu. Now, the APC claimed that with Bello's arrest, it is clear to them that high-ranking PDP members are members of cult groups, and that there's been a strategic use of cultists and thugs to carry out attacks within Ogun State, and that sometimes because these high-ranking PDP politicians know about the attack, they would travel within that period to claim alibi that they were not in the country, the attacks would take place, and then come back to take the benefits of the attacks. However, the PDP publicity secretary has already said that that's not true. They are alleging that the APC in Ogun State also used thugs and cultists to beat up members of the PDP party in the Ogun State Governorship Tribunal. So it's a trade of words between the APC and the PDP. However, caught in the middle are cultists attacking Ogun State citizens that were not protecting. So it's not about whether they are affiliated to one party or the other. The point is we need to reduce, preferably stop the activities of cultists within the Southwest region.
Daily Sun. Tinubu orders immediate rescue of abducted Zamfara female students. David Mark hits INEC hard on 2023 elections. Describes poll as the most controversial in Nigeria's history. Unizik dismisses 3 staff, suspends cleric, 14 others for misconduct. Atiku accuses president of misleading Nigerians through propaganda. Again, Nnamdi Kanu's American lawyer demands immediate release. Don't panic, you regain your greatness soon. Nwanya Wood counsels Igbo. Which story are we taking in Daily Sun? Should I start with the president of the Ohaneze Ndigbo chief, Emmanuel Nwanyawo? Yesterday urged Igbo not to be dismayed over the situation of the region, saying things will soon turn around for their betterment. He was speaking at the, I think it was at the Anglican Diocese in Enugu. He was saying specifically during the Thanksgiving service that I have carried out a study on the potentials of our region, and I'm very proud. We have everything that can make us great: agricultural potentials, mineral resources. We are sitting on top of the biggest reservoir of gas. So please don't be worried. Things are going to be better. Things may look bad now, but things will be better because I am putting my trust in God. Noting that he found out that it was Britain's diaspora potentials that made it to answer Great Britain. The Ohaneze boss said that we, Igbo, have got a lot of people in the diaspora. We're establishing Ohaneze in all the continents across the globe. And very soon, Igbo land will be a great Igbo land. We are doing our best and God will help us. And that was at the church on Enugu. Okay? So that's story. Moving on now to Vanguard. NLC battles OPS over stand on planned nationwide strike. Manufacturers incur heavy losses as forex crisis inflation bites harder. Danfo driver goes berserk, strips itself naked after stabbing LASMA official. Kidnap in Zamfara, rescue remaining female varsity students, Tinubu orders security agencies. Experts fault NCAA's transfer of AOC to new owners. Nnamdi Kanu's attorney Bruce Fine renews call for his release. Wike revokes 22 allocations, gives 21 embassies 168 others 3 months grace. And Onga, Tinubu will revamp Nigeria's economy and boost energy sector, says Ron, FLNG boss. Okay, which story?
The Danfo driver story. So this Danfo driver applying the costain, it was the Mori axis decided to pick passengers off the road instead of parking at the bus stop.
Sorry.
Which is
I drove right past there.
okay, you
Yeah,
saw that?
I saw. But I saw it was naked. They was beating the guy. It was all. I saw my kids close their eyes. I see a naked man. I didn't know that's the story.
Exactly, that's the
Sorry,
story.
exactly. I was right
So
there.
the last man official that led the team, Officer Olajide Olukoga, said that because he had done that, he was arrested. A team of police officers and last man arrested him. He got out of the car, took a knife. How do you have a knife while you're driving a commercial bus? But he stabbed the officer. When he saw what he had done and that the last man officers were certainly not going to let him go, he went naked, tried to cause commotion to distract and all of that, but he was eventually arrested.
Oh my God.
I just hope that, we can do more for these last mile officers.
Yeah.
Because on the Badagry, on the expressway this morning, there was no need, there was no traffic. It was coconut, but people were on one way from Sele. Nothing. And that's why I couldn't make it to work on Thursday. The traffic officers would allow tankers to take one way from Alakija. In was the tank farms. And so all of us would just be sitting there in traffic for hours, all the way to barracks. Unnecessary traffic. We can do
when you
better.
try holding them, this is the kind of things that
This is the kind of things that happen. So we need to do better for them. We need to
Let me take Nnamdi Kanu. Bruce Fine, the International Council of the Detained IPOB leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, has renewed the call for his immediate release. In an open letter to President Tinubu yesterday, he called for the release according to the nation's Human Rights Council, United Nations Human Rights Council Working Group in the arbitrary detention for Kanu's unconditional release. He's saying that Fine is capitalizing on the emergence of a new leader in Nigeria, Tinubu, to renew the call for Kanu's release in the hope that the new government will be more agreeable to a peaceful settlement as opposed to the former president's hardline stance on the matter.
So,
Major headline, NLC?
No, I'm just talking about businesses. Businesses are my constituency. Yes, it's in Vanguard. So Financial Vanguard carried the story about the fact that the impact of the devaluation of the Naira has had on businesses. According to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics officially, in the H1, that's the first quarter of 2023, inflation rate was 22.79%. And they said that the dollar rate used to be 448 in the official market, and now it is 823 in the official market. And that this has created the severity of this challenge has caused many businesses to suffer. The manufacturing industry of Nigeria is picking up, even reflected even within the companies on the stock exchange. Most fast-moving consumer goods have recorded increase in the cost of acquiring their raw materials. So the conversation is appealing to the acting CBN Governor Yemi Cardoso, as well as Doris Uzuka Anete, who is the Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, to step up whatever they are going to be doing. The report is saying that the most fast-moving goods is not reflecting this major, that is, they are still profitable. The price change is not huge, but we were here when Dr. Manuel was saying that when policy changes, the impact is not even felt until 6 months after. So some of these businesses have bought a lot of things and they're not feeling it yet, but by the next, when we get into next year, it would affect their bottom line, and we don't want to lose more businesses than we're already losing right now. So I'm hoping that both the minister as well as the acting CBN governor would change.
You have to wrap up quickly. The Nigerian Tribune has found a story if not taken. Security lapses must be investigated, says Amnesty International. Out of school, Nigeria needs over 300,000 new teachers, says TRCN. Nigeria facing confidence crisis in forex markets, CPPE tells CBN governor. And the UBA partners African Development to provide $6 billion financing solutions for Africa SMEs.
And Nigeria has only 84 pediatric dentists to cover
200 million.
So the national president of the Nigerian Association of Pediatric Dentistry, Dr. Ife Adegbulube, has said that the way many well-trained, certified dentists are leaving the country is what is of course, one of the reasons affecting, contributing to brain drain. He says that part of the challenge is facing oral health care in children is the fact that only 84 pediatric dentists are attending to children in Nigeria. And you can tell easily that more than half of these ones are in Lagos and in Abuja. Do you understand? Then you have just a few. He says that, dental health is very important, especially with children. They need to start imbibing proper health, dental health habits from when they're children, because problems would take, it would transfer to adolescence and adulthood. He talks about how it's very expensive, really, also dental health care for children, because the equipment that they use is mostly imported. They're very expensive to maintain yes. So all those is part of why it is so expensive, for that. But he also mentioned that, things like polishing of teeth, scaling, that they're not just for aesthetics, that they're actually really important to help with dental care for children. I know how much it costs.
Even worst case,
my
the
own
story
child,
of the out of school, so
300,000
teachers are needed to meet the need for, or more. They said, or more.
So where's everyone? No
Canada.
teachers, no doctors, no dentists.
Canada.
Where are they?
Canada and US.
UK just opened something for teachers last this year.
That's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to the hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Following the tragic death of the renowned the artist Mohbad, a new turn happened over the weekend. A few people began to speak to his spirits, and the videos trended over the weekend, one of which was Dayton, who we popularly know as an activist, a human rights activist, helping to support many people, especially those kids who were molested in the past. So she was a very strong voice in supporting, ensuring justice for molested children, and also she spoke vehemently against the governor in his actions and inactions towards making sure these children had justice. And she was a voice. Another person recently also joined in the speaking to the spirits. Another pastor, I don't have his name right now, but it seemed the whole issue of Mohbad has taken a whole new turn. While the family is grieving, while the communities are grieving, while his followers are grieving, others are speaking to his spirit. What are your thoughts on this? Because this story actually raises various questions as regards social media, the need to engage your audience, the fact that many of us go spiritual when it comes to issues. What are your thoughts on this? I'd like to really hear from Nigerians, because many of us had watched the video, many had questions, many had concerns, some laughed, some joked about it, some took it seriously, some really believed in those videos. What do you believe in? Call us on 08107641679, 090241634440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweet. Let me come to the ladies. So this whole Mohbad story took a whole new turn over the weekend. I mean, we heard, everybody has been showing different videos of all sorts of things happening in the past, where he was betrayed, where he was talked about, where they warned him, where, we've seen so many videos. I mean, we all practically have the whole life story of Mohbad. But now we're now having something about the supernatural, where we can actually engage him spiritually. What are your thoughts on this video? Let me start with Nima. When you watch this video with Dayton, what came to your mind?
So I don't understand our people anymore, why we want to catch cruise on everything, including disrespecting the dead. Because me, I did not know Mohbad. In fact, I didn't know he sang those songs.
Yeah.
It was the trend that made me listen to the full songs. So anytime the records were starting and it becomes Malian, because of my aversion to that group when they started, I tuned off. Even at a party, I remember my niece's tent, and I said, tell that DJ to close that thing and get out of this place. Because I heard Malian. I didn't know there were songs that, were beautiful like that and expressing a person's thought. And so I would not come now, because he died and is trending, and be compelled to make a post. I might, yes, understand grief, because I am dealing with grief myself. But I would not come and say, put up a post. I don't understand how insensitive we are just for content. I do not have any respect for these two individuals whose videos trended, who said they were speaking to him. Because one was extremely disrespectful. Oba Solomon was like, There's nobody I cannot curse. And he said he was talking to the dead.
Okay, so in his own video, because we saw data, but his own
Yes.
video, he was actually accusing Mohbad of waking him up the wrong
With
way.
a boot.
Yeah.
He said he booted him awake.
Yeah.
He said, why would you boot me? At that point, he was still content until he started to use such disrespectful terms.
So we'll come to this
To
issue
the
of using
ways.
these things to cloud. But let's get your initial responses to the video when you saw it happening.
My initial response to the video, of course, is cruise generation. We're a generation of cruise, catching cruise, jumping on the cruise, vibing to whatever is trending, to the detriment of the weight of the situation. So that was my first thought, cruise generation. And I feel so sad because especially when I watched Adeto's video, I was like, am I watching a Nollywood movie? Am I watching a remake of Ghost and the Tout with Toye Abraham? Because really, at the end of the day, everybody is coming online now and saying, I could not sleep. Mohbad woke me up. Mohbad is speaking to me. I am speaking for Mohbad. And we're going to now water down what is supposed to be a cry for justice for him into everybody chasing clout. And when anybody says Mohbad, they say, they have come again. So they swipe off. Because when I saw that video, after a few seconds, I swiped. I didn't even want to see it, which would end up being a reaction everybody will start having to what would have been a cause to drive for positive change within the entertainment industry. Let's stop this. Let's stop chasing clout with other people's life. This is somebody's life, and only a single son, a little boy is left, a wife is left behind. Can we not chase clout with this and focus on the situation and not catching cruise with the fact that anybody that says Mohbad now, justice for Mohbad, people will post pictures to sell markets and hashtag justice for Mohbad. Why? What are you trying to achieve? Because you want people to school and see you.
Let me hear your thoughts, Mariam, on this, because I was reading the comments, and it seemed like some people actually believed it and said that she could be actually hearing from the dead. Maybe the dead actually speaks. Do you?
That would be like 10% of the comments.
So, because Nima and Tope have gone this way, which is a possibility, it sounds like it's cloud chasing, you're taking advantage of a trending topic so you can trend yourself. But this is a country of people who believe in the supernatural. We believe in... We actually have people who go and seek someone who can help connect them to the spiritual or to the other world, and someone will speak, and that person will speak to them. It's not just in Nigeria. In fact, I spent my weekend watching this American boy that goes to other people's homes and tells them about those who have passed on. So that happens. The only problem with these two videos that I have is you're not talking to the family. You're not talking to those who are directly involved. You're sitting down talking to people,
social media,
your followers. Because in what way does if you say you have seen him, how does it concern the rest of Nigeria? Do you understand? Are you talking to the family and saying, I have seen your son, he came to me, and this is the message he's giving to me? Or have you gone to the police and said, well, the police may not work with spirituality, but he came to me, and these are the people he said may have had a hand in his death? This is all a show, and it's unfair, and it's just, for the people that did it, you're adults, some of them are parents. How do you look at yourself at the end of the day when you know that what you're doing is just so unfair? There's a mother, there's a father. First of all, wife. First of all, they are in... Not only have they lost a son, a father, a breadwinner, they're also trying to grapple with all the surrounding issues around it. If they're being attacked, if they're being targeted, and you think that this is the right time to make a drama or theatrics out of it, it is... I'm sad that they will do that, but please, if you are truly seeing something, if it makes sense, if it's the truth from the spiritual, go to the family and talk to the family. And if the family, if they're the sort of family like my family would not want to hear that, go to the church or go to your mosque or go somewhere else and deal with this spirit that you're seeing, and pass the message to who you're supposed to... Stop using people's stories and people's losses to make yourself trend. It's so unfair.
Let me take this call from Richard. Good morning, Richard. You're live.
Right. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for your good job. What I would like to comment on this hot topic of Mohbad is this. I think a lot of people are overlooking so very many things. This guy's death has highlighted a lot of things. May he so rest in peace. I feel for his family. Number one, that one that said he's hearing from the dead, that's a bloody lie. That's a lie. People are trying to make money out of this guy. And it's so wrong and it's unfair. The Bible states it clearly. If you're hearing from the dead, that's witchcraft. Full stop. Secondly, this Naira Marley guy is a national threat. People are not even looking at it. It's just that case of Mohbad has just brought this up. This guy is discipling drug dealers, making the next generation to be drug addicts. It's a national threat. The government needs to look into this guy. It's not, this matter is a serious matter. Because if you look at the whole people following this guy, it's all about drug related.
Right.
And what is their population? We don't even know. So people are just laying back. Is this guy's death, which I can look to George Floyd in America, that is bringing up so very many issues now? Yeah. Issue number 3, parental issue is key.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you have children, you don't know what they do? Yeah. That's why I give credit to Burna Boy's mother. She's always there with it. With his mother, I give credit to her. She's always there with it. See, that's an industry that is kind of like, I don't want to demonize the industry.
Thank you very much, Richard. We'll definitely touch on those important points you raised. But one more thing, I'll come to you.
That point. So his parents knew what he did.
Yeah,
no, just because I've followed the story. I just refused to put a post just for the season. So not to trend for this season.
Exactly.
But I have followed the story. And his parents knew what he did. They knew the group he worked with. There's videos showing the mother on her knees and the father standing, and they were obviously begging an employer, somebody that, they felt was bigger than their son and could take him. And so that video is out there as well. But they're not the privileged kind of Burna's mom. Burna's mom has experience. His dad worked with fella. They have the exposure. But this is a young guy from nothing, trying to make it up there. He will take choices he can't even explain. I'm not excusing. Some of the things I stand against, the cultism, the drugs, I'm not excusing that. I'm saying the parents did what they knew they could. You hear her speak, she's not educated. What did you expect of her? What choices did she have? Would she have the benefit of having a lawyer read through any contract for her? No. He would have already signed. So let's be, more understand.
We'll come to that because you see, that's a huge part of this entire Mohbad story that nobody's talking about. And I really want to focus on it a bit because we need a system to protect people like this. But let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take this story further. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this issue of day 2. I'll like, for those of you that have no idea what we're talking about, please watch the video.
mo fẹ́ bẹ̀ yín alágbára òkùnkùn mo fẹ́ bẹ̀ yín tẹ́ gba àwọn ẹni ibi tán sásá bẹ̀ yín ẹ jọ̀wọ́ mo ti gbọ́ ẹ náà mo ti gbọ́ ẹ kí ló tún fẹ́ mo ti gbọ́ ẹ mo ti gbọ́ màá sọ fún mọ́mì ẹ mo ti gbọ́. mo ti gbọ́ màá sọ fún wọn I will tell your mother mo ti gbọ́. He said that he knows that God will rise up and give him justice and vengeance. He would avenge his death, but he says we should all pray for him. And that is the reason why I am doing this live. Ordinarily, I shouldn't be coming live, but I'm doing it because he wants all of us to come together. Like if truly you people feel for him, you feel for his pain. He was talking, but nobody understood him. He was...
jẹ́jẹ́ mi mo jókòó ọ̀wọ́ náà pè ní Mohbad yẹn kò ní respect jẹ́jẹ́ mi ni mo sùn bọ̀bọ́ ìfẹ́ wá jí mi ó fẹ́ bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ lójú àlá kò lè táàpù mi ìpá ló fi jí mi tẹ bá ráyé bùdù tó gbélé mi gbáà Ọba Solomon, please help me. Justice for Mohbad. Please help me. Say me ló pa ẹni Mr. Man. Jẹ́ kó rí ẹ pé o kò sẹ́ tí mi ò lè ṣépè fún o. gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá mọ̀ pé ẹ pa Mohbad ẹ lọ report ara yín ní police station o. Ẹ wá jẹ́jẹ́ mi ni mo sùn sílé ní ọ̀ráyè. Ẹ lọ report ara yín.
Okay. Now, obviously, many people are laughing in the studio, but
For those who don't.
Mariam used the word earlier. Said this is completely unfair. Like, and as I was hearing these people speak, these adults speak, I'm thinking it's so unfair to actually use somebody's death in this way. But you know, when I was seeing the video, Nima, another thing that came to mind is the fact that, you know how, because I saw Adetun as somebody who many idolized because of her passion, that she spoke against government inadequacies when she was trying to fight for this was like a Baba Jesha situation where she partnered up with the princess and all that. And she became a voice. Now, even after that, we've seen her do so many other things, and they happened with the Dr. Olayemi, is it Dr. Femi Olayemi? You know, Olaleye, thank you. That she was there fighting, and you know, so she became a role model to many people. Yeah. Now, this is also a role model that critiques government or criticizes government and what they're doing. Now, this individual, we see her in the video, go to one Baba to go and say, let us pray together, let us, you know, and you're thinking of the mentality, the thinking, the kind of person that we have somewhat idolized in this regard. This is the same person that will go out, because you will think an educated person will have enough exposure of what today, what modernity is, and if you have a problem, how to go to God yourself. We talk about it all the time. We all have direct access to God. I don't need to go to any Baba still on the floor to pray for me or give me a picture. I can speak to God directly. So you think with this education and exposure, many of us on social media that are leaders and role models will know better. But seeing her in that regard, I'm thinking, is this the same person? Am I missing something?
The only thing that I would say again that may be off, because whether we like it or not, we're Africans. And many times when we discuss our religion here, especially Christianity and Islam, we also talk about how we practice it in our own cultural way. Some people will tell you that even though they go to church for their religious, they still have their babalawos and their, you know, whoever it is that they see on the side that they also believe in, because this is traditional, this is cultural. So this scenario is not new to Nigerians. People seek spiritual things outside our religion. But I would say again, it does not make sense that we're on live, we are on social media, we're on TV, talking about this the way that they're going about. This has nothing to do with Mohbad. This has nothing to do with justice for Mohbad. This has nothing to do with empathizing and sympathizing with the family for their loss. This is only about clout, and you know it, and it's wrong.
Producers asked me to tell you to help us translate, especially that man, what he said.
Okay, Oba Solomon was saying he came to report Mohbad to everybody on his life, and he said that Mohbad came to him, and he that he butted him awake, he kicked him awake, and that at that point he now sparked that, am I the one that killed you, or did I cause your death? That's disrespectful. And he proceeded and said, there's nobody I cannot curse. Talking to the dead again. Then he went further and said, the people who are behind his death should come out from hiding and speak up. So these people are just creating content for their pages to trend and gain numbers. So on the other hand, I have seen a lot of times when she's goofed. There was a trend about her brother where she bullied someone into silence on her page. There are several, you know, so these people are humans and they're just building content. There's no special anything around them. And, you know, on this particular one is even more annoying. In that video, she was saying, don't worry, she was talking to the spirit as well, saying, I've heard you. I will tell your mom. I will tell your mom. If he sent you to his mom, you should be in Aja or Lekki where his house is. You should be seeking audience like other actresses did in privacy. And you should be more discreet. You are an adult. You should know.
When they say respect,
this is death.
This is what they mean.
And it will touch everybody. It's coming around. If you've not experienced it before, good for you, but it is going to go around. That's the way we are all going to live. Can you show some respect? You went further and said, he sent you a message, he has told you to speak to some people, you've already spoken to them. Can you leave it private? Do you have to go live? Do you need to tell the world, I am speaking to him? Do you really need to do that, just as Miriam said? Let me go back to what Nima said. I come to you, Tope, earlier, concerning the issue of drug abuse, cultism, and the parental negligence. And as she said, we're not excusing him because of poverty. Because the truth is that there are poor people who can raise their children right. But in the situation that you have a burner boy who has her mother to guide, other artists who have mothers, this one obviously didn't have families directing his steps. The issue of drug abuse is like, even in the fact that we all agree that with justice, Mohbad needs justice, we are somewhat downplaying the drug part of this story or the cultism part of this story. Do you think it's been downplayed, or do you think it's still as important as the issue of justice for his death?
Oh, okay, so I think that this criminals are meant to get justice, even if you're a criminal. Even if you are a convicted criminal, there should be, even if you're a known criminal, there should be a process to, or a fair process to justice getting to you, which is why we say no to jungle justice. Let them go to court, let them defend themselves, and let them be convicted by the law. So that, for me, is why we're not talking about drug use. And really, except for a few clips, Mohbad wasn't openly using drugs on social media the way Naira Marley does. So we can't, that is even different. If we're going to talk about drugs, let us address the people that are using drugs online. Many of them, even the ones you just mentioned, are using Orishi online. So it is not about the drugs part. It is important that it's mentioned, but it is not the reason. It shouldn't be cloud justice for Mohbad. But regarding parenting, we've had parents
Pause
that...
for a second. I want to take Hassan and hold it for a minute. Good morning, Hassan. Are you there?
Good morning, Morales.
Good morning.
Good
Thanks
morning,
for calling.
everybody. Please, you see this Mohbad issue. We have to be very, very careful with it. I live in the middle of Lekki, and I saw what happened that very day when they came to the Lekki toll gate to demonstrate. Look, we have serious issues on our hands. We have idle and irresponsible youth in our midst. And there are many. Do you know that many of the youth on that very day, some were walking towards the toll gate, some were walking down from Lekki First toll gate up to Aja. Their age bracket, you understand, is not up to, it's between 18 and 25. Look, let me tell you one thing. People are using that Mohbad for different motives. Some people are using it to make money, and I saw trying to snowball it into political rally. Where I saw it, I mean, living with them. I live there, I saw it. You understand? And the way people are talking youth. Please, we should stop amplifying this youth.
All right. Thank you, Hassan.
So, as I was saying, and I get what Hassan is saying, that we don't want it to snowball because protests can get hijacked and it can become a political thing or something where they start attacking an individual or something. We don't want that. We actually all want justice for Mohbad. We want investigations to take place. We want the autopsy results to be publicized. We want people that are culpable to be brought to justice. That is what many people are clamoring for. But back to parenting. There was a story we took on Saturday, YourView Saturday show, about how this young boy, Salisu, in, I think it's Kaduna State, found 15 million naira in his keke napep and took it home. And they didn't have food to eat at home that night. And his parents told him to return the money. So they returned the entire money, even though he's from a poor home. The poverty and stealing, or poverty and drug use, poverty and ignorance does not come together. The local Nigerian sense, even without any form of education, knows right from wrong. Our parents know what they are doing. Right. Some parents have made their children their source of livelihood. Some parents have made the children, this is my hope. So anyhow, just bring the money home. And you know what he's doing is endangering his life. You know what she's doing is endangering her life. Some people live off their children. That is not African culture. You are meant to raise your children, not expect that your children will be the one to be fending for you. And we should speak against that. So whether you went to school or you can read or you cannot read, you know that your child is being lured into a negative net that can endanger his life. And because you think this is where we eat, you kneel down and you're begging. Wrong.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation on parenting. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing the part of this conversation that many aren't talking about, the issue of parenting and how we can improve parenting, especially in this regard. Let me come to your thoughts on what Tope just said.
Okay, so parenting is important, and you're right. Poverty does not equate bad parenting, but there's a new trend in our world, whether we like it or not, that adults who are not fully grown themselves or exposed or know the right thing are giving birth to children. So if parenting, the fact that you have given birth to a child does not all of a sudden make you a responsible adult. Or wise adult, or makes you, know the right thing to do. It's what you know, how you live your life, that you put into you on the child. That's just the truth, and that's what we have a lot of right now. I used to say that when I was growing up, we had very little. And we understood the dignity of ourselves. We understood that what we did not have was money. We had everything else. We were human beings. We were proud of ourselves. We went to school. We were respectful. The only thing we did not have was money. And I would look at someone who was wealthy or who had more money, and we could tell the thing you have is money. If you did not have respect, we could see that you may have money, but you don't have respect. You may have money, but you don't have sense. That sort of thing. It was just money that was the difference between, being poor and being rich. But now it's poverty of the mind, lack of respect for self and your environment, lack of dignity, no reason, no hunger to better yourself. Just you're just everywhere. Just let everybody spoil, finish. So it will show in the sort of children that you're raising. Some children have been able to bring themselves out of that. I don't know how God does it, so a child will be able to bring themselves out. But in this particular Mohbad's case, see, the lack of Yoruba is is affecting me here. But for what I see, is based on what they know, given their exposure, the little that they know. They came across to me, the mother especially, saying, this benefactor has given our child an opportunity, and since he did, our lives have become better. I'm not sure if they knew about the cultism or the drug use. If they knew that, and they knew that this was the person the person that is associating with is the person that is allowing him use the drugs or be involved in gangs, then what they were doing to beg the benefactor was wrong. But if they were not aware, if they just thought, he gave him a platform, he now has a job, he's now a responsible young man. See, he has bought us shop, he has bought us a car, he's trying to make our lives better. And they would not really understand this young boy trying to leave what they feel was a huge platform to step out on his own. And then when they see also that he's being assaulted, in their own thinking,
he's begging.
We'll go, we'll beg him. What is it that we cannot? And, knowing Africans, when an African parent kneels down before a younger person, it's supposed to be all things have been settled. Let's go ahead.
Point. Let me come to you, Nima, but I have a call. Yemi from Ikorodu, you're live. Thanks for calling.
Hello, Mariah. Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
For 10 years, I think it's the first time I'm able to...
Really? Oh, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. How bad, so sad. I really feel for the boy. He was a talent. Now, talking of parenting, his mom came online some time back and spoke of how she got pregnant with him and how she was advised by prophets that not to terminate the pregnancy, and that the child was going to be great and he would work for the Lord and everything. Now, she knew this, and she left that boy when he was 4 years old, as far as what we've been hearing online. She left him when he was 4 years old. She did not think to nurture him, towards that path. And the boy deviated, and the devil took him. And she came out crying, and I feel for her, but she ought to have nurtured that boy. Somebody spoke of Burna Boy's mom. Burna Boy's mom has been with him from the word go, from the beginning. She should have stayed and nurtured that boy. Probably, if she had stayed, she would have followed the path God destined him to follow. And, this thing would not have happened. It's just so sad.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Nima, do you think society is part of this problem? Because when Naira Marley came out, I just when the whole Malian culture, There was a video that was trending about the woman who was actually trying to preach against it. And I remember that time that everybody went for her. And even celebrities came out and said, listen, I am a Malian, I'm a proud Malian. And we've also, for a woman, like a mother of Mohbad, who has no idea, but she sees that this man is glorified. Everybody's celebrating a Malian, everybody's proud to be a Malian. All she sees is the success story. So she might not want to dig further to understand what's underneath. Or she said, nah, everybody's a Malian, it's a proud thing. So do you think society also spearheaded this destruction that we're seeing in
Certainly it did. Certainly it did. And I would not excuse Bonner's mom because Bonner would be at his performances and he would obviously be smoking. Davido would hold his own like this. Wheezy, all of them. So when the head is when something is going to spoil, it starts from the head. When fish goes spoil, now from the head. These people continue to popularize these ills and vices, and we aligned with them for just the successes. Nobody called out those things for what they were. Everybody shut up. I remember when Naira Marley started to trend and young students would go to school in uniform and they would put their videos online, TikTok and all of those things. They would be popularizing, and the child would be shouting, Marley. And there was one girl that broke my heart, seriously, because not only was she a girl, she was in secondary school uniform in that video. And I remember saying to my kids, there's nothing that excuses bad behavior. Drugs, association, anybody you know, once you see the person behave in such a manner, you excuse yourself. It's okay to say, I can't belong, and come back home immediately. And they were too little to even understand, but now where we are. So justice for Mohbad really is, how many of these vices are we going to make sure stops? Because we are now hearing more terrible things of drug peddling, compelling artists to travel with drugs, threatening, cultism, we're now hearing the outrageousness of these things.
kg.
We are now shouting, the time they were starting and making our children think it was okay to align, to believe, to show up, to say, okay, to belong. Really, we were all saying it's not that bad because it's never near house. And when the fire starts from your neighbor house, careful when you're minding your business. It goes soon touch your roof. Yes, and we're here now. We're shouting. Mohbad's parents, for me, just as Tokwe said, they cannot excuse not knowing. Even if you did not know from the beginning, at some point, you would have been scared. There was a DJ Splash mother who carries her son to go and hide in one remote place so that he will not belong. The boy is not as he was when he joined them. In fact, he was worse off, but the mother is still keeping her son better alive than dead. You know? So some of the experience in this case, for me, they have their faults, but really, we will break it down. What choices did society leave them? And I'll now come back to the people who posted their first video. Paulo said Mohbad had reached out to him. He cried for help to him. And he just put his post like that and shut up. Why? You are upfront and personal. You are a no name. You could have done something for him. You could have visited his parents and said, this boy is being, I will take him up. Or release him.
That's your nature.
You know, you could have, no, I'm just saying, you could have, you know what? Because not just my nature. You see that busybody we call busybody. He would have saved all of us this thing. Most likely saved his life. He would have brought him here and the parents would even get a clearer picture and say, okay, will he become nobody from this popularity or can you still help him keep his career? And you could have done that because Kiss Daniel left his brand, his label. And he was able to get out. We know contracts and label signing. I know.
Record label contracts is a totally different thing. And if we bring it together,
but it was not a contract. It was beyond the contract.
But they don't know.
There was the threat. We saw a full adult being beaten. Obviously, there was more than bullying. They were all taking, they were in fact taking life out of him. So this is beyond a legal contract. A legal contract, worst case, you will educate you to stay 10 more years. You fulfill your side of the contract and leave.
So there are different things. I love to have, it's good to have somebody like Nima in your corner, and then you will have someone like me. I will say my own, and then I'll say maybe once or twice.
If I see into trouble.
Yes, I will say once or twice, and I've learned to say it and keep quiet. So if I see that this child is doing something wrong, I'll mention it. And I grew up with a mom. My mom would buy T-shirts for someone. Like you are dressing, you're wearing black at night. She will call the person in a neighborhood who are living in a ward of him. Remove that your shirt. Wear your white singlets. You can notice it's late before bike will jam you on the road. And that's how I grew up. That's how we grew up. We were watching out for one another. But we later realized that you could be seen as busybody, or you could be seen as there's a log in your eye and you're picking the speck. Another person, somebody will say, let me take care of the log in my eye. That's a perspective. Another part is, let's talk about the celebrities that jumped on the Malian crowd. Because we knew what was right and what was wrong. And like what Nima said, I love music, I love dancing. Anybody that knows me knows I dance everywhere. But once they start playing those songs, I will stop. Like, I would just stop because I did not want to be associated with it. We had people online that knew and are shouting now, but they were clamoring and supporting. When you become lukewarm, today you are for this person, tomorrow you come back and chase person. We don't take you serious, which is why I'm not surprised about Adetoun, because I've seen what she's done. I just keep quiet because we know that it will come out that you don't have any, you're neither here nor there. Some celebrities have stood their grounds consistently. Every time they speak up for what is wrong, when they see a bad video, they will speak up. When they see a good video, they will speak up. Let your yes be your yes, let your no be your no. If you are an influencer and you're on social media, represent your values. Don't come now and talk about justice for Mohbad when yesterday you were posting videos about Naira Marley. I can believe Tonto Dike, she came out and apologized that, see, I was saying I was a Malian, I'm no longer representing, and now I know more. So there's room for that. But the idea of them chasing and jumping on trends, and right now, many people shouting justice for Mohbad, in their corners of their room, they don't represent what they are saying as justice. Right. They are bullying and still bullying, yet they will come out and say justice for Mohbad. Be yourself inside and out.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap up on this. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're just still talking about Mohbad. I'm going to be wrapping up very soon. Somebody, Ambassador Dr. Temiso, sent me a video of somebody saying that he can wake up Mohbad from the dead, that he's just asking for his body. All sorts of videos going on. But let me come to you as we wrap up. Any comments on social media?
Immaculate Boy says, I agree with Tokwe's views, but I disagree on the notion of parents living off of their kids as an African. It's a fact that it's African that see their children as an investment from way immemorial. Why do they have many children? Chemist writer says the industry should just ban using smoking to premiere upcoming songs from artists. Honorable Ademola Alalade says, I deeply feel sad for Mohbad, and I blame his misfortune on his mom, who abandoned him when he was really vulnerable. Wow. She came back into his life when he was already formed and into many vices she cannot control. Parents should pay more attention to their kids. I disagree. Can I just respond to him? I disagree totally on putting the blame on one of the parents, because you were not in their marriage. You don't know why she had to leave that marriage. If she left because she wanted to go and enjoy, or she left because it was difficult for her. And the truth is, the father had another wife. He also referred to that woman in his songs as, not having any pity for him. How about that? Sometimes when mothers leave their marriages, society tend to judge them as if though it was a bed of roses.
The man that did not
Nobody
raise the child.
talks about the kind of man they were married to. It's terrible. And if you frustrate your wife to leave you, or better be a better parent so that the child turns out well and you can take the credit. The father, what did he do really?
So Ade Baptiste says, firstly, this is not the way for them to look for acting roles. That's talking about those making the videos. I mean, they could go and do your auditions with Mo Abudu. Unfortunately, there's absolutely nothing in law that we can do for these actors on social media. That's for those. Then it says, however, I disagree with Tokwe. If he was guilty of a crime relating to drug use, then the agencies responsible should have acted properly. I pray for justice. For me, I'm not a fan of his music, nor his values, but there's a lot of regulations that needs to come in place to regulate both the label and artists. I'm also wondering why you haven't invited NDLEA, because 3 weeks ago, the same Naira Marley was advocating for no drugs. So I don't understand this confusion.
Otumba Karim says, Mo, I laughed the Chinese way. I hope people are not taking this charlatan seriously. I'm utterly disappointed in Adetoun with her theatrics. Nobody speaks with the dead, pure and simple. The young man is dead. He deserves our respect. If people cannot help the family, they should please not add more to their pains. Nigeria is sitting on a keg of explosives with artists who are engaging in drugs, weird dressing, weird behaviors, weird lyrics in their music. They are losing virtues at a faster rate. My heart bleeds for this country.
I wanted to take it, but let's leave it on that one. All the weirdness, all the immoralities that we have supported, we are paying dearly for it with this trend that is happening. And justice for him will be to stand up against every form of immorality we have popularized and accepted and said, okay, it's not my child, it's someone else's child.
Akoni Taiwo says the only thing most Nigerians celebrate is money. Good, be it good or bad money. Fadiku Futa says, careful what you say before Mohbad comes to kick you or boot you out in your sleep. I'm sure that's on a sarcastic note. Gudu Beat says, the police need to get involved earlier and there's nowhere for artists to run when there are issues with their contracts. Somebody else says, the handwriting has been on the wall. Nima has spoken the truth. Another person said, if he were to be my child, it wouldn't be, if he were to be my child, wouldn't we be the kind of money he was looking like? I can't understand.
No, we have to wrap up, unfortunately, but we've not given enough talk time to the issue of the police. You know, I know that the fact that they did not respond, the petition, because we kind of let them off the hook a bit, because the police came here and said that, well, we had invited him, he didn't show up, but this is a petition from an artist. This is, I mean, the likelihood that is a frivolous petition is probably slimmer. So if it was just a Tom, Dick, and Harry stage petition, you might think, oh, maybe, but this is an artist. Yeah.
Not until his death. That petition now becomes an evidence that they can, maybe a corroborative evidence at the least, to what is on ground now, what is being investigated now. But when you write a petition, show up, or send your lawyer to show up and substantiate that petition. That is how it works. And sadly, the system is everywhere. If you like, go to the UK and say it's a different system. You must corroborate the petition you have written.
We have to wrap up. I think that's what we can take. You have a story?
There was a really sad, I saw a video of a young boy, a mechanic, little boy, and they gave him a mic. He said he can sing. And they gave him a mic to sing. Raw talent. But when he started singing, before he sang 4 lines, he spoke about having money, chasing women, and using drugs. And I looked at it that because these are the things that we hear over and over again. Having money, chasing women, using drugs. Look at all our music. Majority are saying those 3 things, and we're programming our young children unconsciously to think those are the things to chase when it comes to life. We need to start talking about these things.
The lyrics for Afrobeats, really.
It's those 3 things.
That is all we can take on this segment, and I think what I'd like to leave with our viewers is that let's stop trying to chase clout on somebody's death. Everybody should please focus on content. This is a season of content development. Find your own original content. Let's not use somebody's grief to chase clout. I think that's what we've said so far on this. Let's go to a break. When we come back, we'll discuss something that concerns the subsidy removal and how we can help Nigerians. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So Nigerians have had it pretty rough since the subsidy removal. Households, businesses struggling to survive with another rise to the PMS looming. Everything seems quite bleak right now. According to reports, petrol dealers stated that the pump price of petrol should be between 890 naira to 900 naira to the litre, based on the fall of the naira against the US dollar and the surge in the price of crude in the international market. Joining us on the show is the National President, Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, that's Petron, Mr. Billy Julius Harry. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good to have you on the show. Yes, great to have you. Nigerians are quite concerned about this report that there's a possibility we might start having to buy petrol 900 naira to the litre. And I mean, reports are showing that even in the US, it's about $3.90, which is about 3,000 naira. And other African countries are selling it about 1,500 naira and 1,200 naira per litre. But here in Nigeria, we're still around that 500, 600 range. and it might be getting to 900, and Nigerians are really scared because most people cannot afford that. Could you give us an in-depth understanding of what's going on?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. My name is Dr. Billy Gillis-Harry, and the question that you have asked is a very topical one, and everybody in Nigeria has their eyes and ears on that. The fact that projections of petroleum products, especially PMS prices increase, is, I mean, it's a topical issue. And there is no telling the fact that subsidy removal and the lack of adequate forex will at all times impact on the price in a way that will seem to be negative in terms of pricing. So yes, 890 naira to 900 naira per liter projection may not be off the cuff, but we are also listening to the concern that is shown by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has also said that prices of PMS should not increase beyond where it is in 617 naira. So we are watching to see. So far, there is no indication from NNPC, that's the major suppliers to our retail outlets, that this pricing is going to happen, but that there is armchair projection of the fact that price can increase on 900 naira is not something that we should throw out of the window, because the naira is consistently falling behind in terms of competing with the US dollars. So that is the reality. Pricing, cost of crude oil, and lack of forex will be the things that will determine how petroleum product is priced.
Okay.
Okay, so Nigerians really want to know if subsidy is being paid now. You know, you just mentioned that the president said the price of petrol should not go beyond 600. But who is covering that difference? Is it now under recovery again? What exactly is happening, and how do we go forward?
Well, I think you press people have a very critical role to play. I am playing my role as a citizen of Nigeria, as a senior citizen of Nigeria, as even a statesman, if I would say, in leading the Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria. I am actually putting myself out there to push for integrity, efficiency, and service that will make Nigeria's economy to grow. So what has Petron done? We consistently try to do analysis on the subject, and we adequately call the government's attention to it and let them know the consequences of certain actions or certain inactions. So I just read in a tabloid, just like you probably read, that about 169 billion naira was paid. But I didn't see it in the major newslines. I didn't even listen to it on TVC. And TVC is a major mainstream media. So that tells us that it's probably a gossip that's coming in from somewhere that we need to interrogate.
All right.
Okay, so obviously a lot of Nigerians are worried about this, the speculation that the price of petrol would go to 900 and above. And I'm in the space where I think that that's the reality of a deregulated markets, to respond to market forces. How do you think the government should handle this? Should they let it go free, truly free, or should they still be trying to create a subsidy window to provide ease for the Nigerian populace? Which do you think will benefit us long term and as a country with our current economy?
Well, first of all, that petroleum product price will rise should not be. It shouldn't be a rocket science for anybody, because the prices of the input, materials to refine PMS is not static. So certainly, if it's moving up or down, prices will also move up or down. And as far as removing the regulation is concerned, we in Petron supported the removal of subsidy, but we gave certain preconditions that we thought our government should do. And we didn't see those actions being taken seriously. And that's why I think we're where we are. So Petron is the last mile in the distribution value chain. So we interact, we buy from NMPC, that's the main supply, and then we interact with the last buyer on the street, including the housewife, the machine driver, the KK rider, even the president's office, or even the minister's offices. We serve petrol to all of them. So we should have quite a lot of information that should be useful for policy making. But however, we did not see those things being done. So we are where we are. Now, what do we project? What do we advise? There should be an emergency declared to prepare and activate and make sure that the refineries existing in Nigeria are all working. And there is no reason we shouldn't do that. If we can have a projected 7 trillion naira debt to pay for subsidy, there is no reason why we cannot project for that 7 trillion naira to repair all the refineries. And I emphasize all the refineries, because we as an association, we are working towards partnering with the government to even take over 1 or 2 of the refineries to make sure that we can produce certain quantity of PMS, ATK, AGO, different derivatives of crude oil, to be in the domestic market and try to make sure that it works. So for me, subsidy payment should not return to the market, because it doesn't help us. We've already, prior to now, projected that 7 trillion naira will be required to subsidize PMS alone. So that money can be directed to be used for other very valuable issues that will make Nigeria better.
Okay. Yeah. So my question now is to the oil marketers like you. I mean, subsidy, no subsidy, Nigerians are crying about prices back and forth. But, this is an industry that has to earn money. You're not, you're a capitalist industry. You're there to make profit. And when you say that you're part of those who, agree that subsidy should be taken off, and yet we have many Nigerians, as you know, who are unable to afford this product with the prices just skyrocketing. How would that affect business for you going forward? And then there's another thing that Nigerians complain about, which is around the world, we see as the prices fluctuate up and down, but Nigeria, once price goes up, it stays up, no matter what else is happening around the world with the crude price or value of the naira.
Well, the reason why Nigeria is like that is simple. When price of petroleum products is fixed by the policymakers, certainly if it goes up, the only reason it will come down again is another policy that says we'll sell at social price. For instance, today, marketers that would have been engaged in bringing additional petroleum products are not doing so, because they cannot land products that will be over 600 naira, 700 naira per liter. And the policy says they cannot sell at above 617 naira. So that is an issue. Now, as far as profit making is concerned, we have several regulatory agencies that should ensure that the marketers don't run away with putting prices that are very, very harsh and very, very inhuman to Nigerians. We are Nigerians. We have wives, we have children, we have different kinds of people in the society. So we are very conscious also of the fact that our actions or inactions will impact positively or negatively in the consistent growth of the economy. So we will not, at any time, I'm saying it on authority and my integrity, that we will not engage in price fixing that will make Nigerians to suffer.
Okay.
What is required is...
Okay, let me take this call from Etsu. He's been holding for a minute. Good morning, Etsu. You're live.
Yeah, well, what we have requested is that we have the NMDPRA that is regulating.
Hello.
Good morning, Morai.
Good morning, Etsu. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Good morning. I want to appreciate you all because we really appreciate your program, Morai.
Thank you, sir.
But if we are talking about subsidy, believe me, majority of Nigeria, we don't understand what is going on. We all want this subsidies to be removed. All Nigerians. But again, the way things are going, we don't understand. When we had that on August, federal government did pay subsidy. This is what you are asking the spokesperson because I don't understand what he's saying, sir. You need to explain to Nigeria, is it true? Because the news was flying that you pay subsidy about 160-something billion. And if actually the subsidy is still existing, we will not be happy. We want the federal government to remove the subsidy, but Nigerians are suffering.
All right, thank you, Etsu. What he's saying that he has not confirmed that story in any of the main news agencies. Even we haven't. We just heard also it on blogs all over social media. So wait for the government to officially inform us indeed if they've started paying subsidy. Coming back to our guest, Mr. Julius Harry, are you still there?
I'm here with you.
You see, there's something, I wanted to ask you a question from the layman's terms, because many Nigerians are hearing, okay, by December, Port Harcourt refinery will start working. Dangote, we are expecting in the next few weeks to start producing. People are thinking, maybe let's just say our mind is in fantasy land, in such that once these guys start refining within, we don't need to, we're not obligated, therefore, to OPEC or the price, international prices. Maybe, so if internationally crude is it 900 or 9-something naira to the dollar to the naira, to per crude per barrel, in Nigeria, because we are refining it to be 500 naira or 300 naira per liter or something, because that's the mindset the average man out there has, that because we are refining locally, automatically we will do our pricing to be affordable for Nigerians. Is that the reality, or do you think Nigeria will still have to be obliged or to be obligated to OPEC's price fixing internationally?
Well, first of all, I think this matter should go beyond speculation. There should be factual roundtable investigation, and I think you, the media, should lead in this, because I heard what the gentleman who intervened said, that he doesn't even understand what's going on in the country, and that he doesn't really understand. Well, thank you for clarifying to him that we, in our position today, cannot verify whether a subsidy was paid or not. So thanks. Now, let me say this. If we not interrogate this matter frontally, and as citizens provide solutions that will make our country better, we will be sinking. And we need to be very careful about what is happening in other climes. We need to be very careful. There are places, countries such as Venezuela, that today is having critical issues on the same fossil fuel mismanagement. So we as Nigerians should count ourselves lucky that as of today, we haven't got to that stage. So we need to take steps.
Okay. I think we are having some technical issues. Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have our guest with us. Nima had a question.
Oh, okay. So
hello, sir. Are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay, good.
We understand the responsibility of the media to probe these things, but we're also hoping that, insiders, people who have influence, would have some ground that they can give us from where to start. Because as it is now, no announcement has been made. just as we question these things on the show every day, but what exactly would you say government should do going forward? Because we know that there's this difference that is unaccounted for right now, presently. It's not giving any name. What would you advise government to do going forward?
What I think government should do, the subsidy has been removed from the 29th of May. And from May to now, there should have been substantial time to review what needed to be done even before the formal announcement of the subsidy. And then what should be done in the course of the process of doing the subsidy regime. And then what should happen after. Government should take steps to really get very honest stakeholder meeting on this, including the consumers. And we should advise the committees that have been set up to work on this. Obviously, giving bags of rice has not brought solution to the removal of subsidy. Because what we should be talking about is, can we make sure that our mass transit system is efficient? The CNG buses that are being promised, can we hasten to make sure that CNG gas project is sustainable and it is established? And can we ensure that our rail system is immediately functional? We have existing rail lines. When I was a young child, we used to move from Dhaka to Sokoto just for weekends to see our brothers or friends who are in the federal government school there. So those lines have not been removed. We can quickly utilize what is the existing infrastructure to make sure that we can do so much mass transit by rail. The production of PMS in Nigeria should be a thing of urgent attention. Refineries, at least minimum, Port Harcourt and Warri, should be working immediately. So that's what I think can be done. And then we look at, we are running our PMS business based on dollar. And then we're having naira to buy. So certainly we need to also work on what kind of exports we can be making to earn more dollars instead of just depending on crude oil. I think these are the immediate solutions that.
Thank you, sir.
I totally agree with you, sir, that we all sort of knew that the subsidy removal was sort of like very sudden. It didn't seem like there was a lot of thought put into it. And over the past, the remaining months, no, it was an opening speech, subsidy gone. So it was sudden.
Yes,
very, very sudden. So, but over the past few months, a lot should have been done to help prepare, cushion the Nigerian populace to be able to handle the challenges. So 100% support you. And I'm hoping that while we're waiting for the government, that your people in your own association will do the part that they can, which is to maybe get more CNG converters available in the market, because the more we have, probably we'll be able to afford prices more. Is there any indication as to CNG converters being more available for the buses and public transport able to convert to CNG?
As an association, prior to now, we had met with our members across the country. Out of our teaming members, 7,000 of them gave nod to give either their retail outlets as a place where daughter stations can be established, or the facilities of conversion can be set up in their various locations. This is heavily capital intensive. And what we had expected was that the government should come in with intervention funds for this, not on charity, but on a very strict business basis that could be recovered immediately based on work. And also, this subsidy now that's been touted that is there, we could apply it to reduce the cost of conversion. Conversion, first of all, for commercial vehicles, and then later on for luxury vehicles that that are packed in so many homes today without being used. So what we have done is provide the facilities, provide the willingness come up with strategies and ideas on how to deploy this as fast as possible. Government's duty is to interface with us and to ensure that these ideas that we brought that are practicable do not go through too much bureaucratic, red tape, and then ensure that we are supported to bring that. For instance, Petroleum has just signed an agreement with an Indian company to produce conversion kits. We have a company in in Italy.
Right. Frozen again.
Nick of time.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap up on the show. I'm so sorry we have a freezing. But thank you so much, sir. We'll be speaking with Mr. Jilly Harry. He's the president of Petroleum. I'm sharing his thoughts on the issue of subsidy removal and how Nigerians are managing. Hopefully, we'll see how, if the government will pay subsidy or not. All right, that's all we can take on today's show. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.